section is for those people just beginning to play the game and for those who want to review the basics. All the instruction I do in this workout is for the right-handed golfer. To be a consistent ball striker, it's important to find a grip that's going to help you square the club face at impact every time. So I recommend that you start with a neutral grip. A neutral grip is where you hold the club in the fingers of the left hand as opposed to the palm. To hold it in the fingers, you want to make sure that you can see two knuckles of your left hand and the V that the thumb and forefinger form point to the right side of your face. That's a neutral grip. This grip here is going to help you create wrist hinge in your backswing, and then it's going to help you be able to rotate the club face so that you can square it at impact. If you have the grip in the palm, like so, you're not going to be able to create any wrist hinge, and you won't be able to rotate your forearm, so you're going to leave the club face open and hit the ball a lot to the right. So make sure that grip of the left hand is more in the fingers. Now to put your right hand on, think of the palm of your right hand like the face of the club, and then go ahead and just set that right hand on so that the right hand sits on top of the thumb of the left hand. Now that V that thumb and forefinger form should also point to the right side of your face. I use what's called a Varden grip. That's where you piggyback the pinky of the right hand over the forefinger of the left hand. But you can use a 10-finger grip or a baseball grip or an interlocking grip, whatever feels comfortable to you. Grip pressure is really important during this workout. You want to hold the club tight enough so that the club doesn't fall out of your hands, but loose enough so that you can create club head speed and swing the club freely. On a scale of 1 to 10, if 10's really tight and 1 is where the club flies out of your hand, you want your grip pressure to be about a 4 or a 5. And you want the grip pressure to be equal in both hands. That's going to help you create club head speed. Now let's talk about the posture, the ball position, and your setup. When you set up, you want to have about a shoulder width stance. You want to make sure that your feet, your knees, your hips, and especially your shoulders are parallel to your target line. Now, your right foot should be relatively straight. And the reason you want your right foot straight is because you want to create some resistance with your lower body so you can really wind into that right leg. Now, if you're not that flexible, it's okay to flare that right foot out a little bit, and that'll help open up the hip a little bit. But if you are flexible enough, keep that right foot straight so that you can create some resistance. Now, the left foot should be flared out just about 45 degrees. And the reason that is because when you swing through, you want to be able to open up your hips so that you can give passageway for your arms, and having that foot flared open is going to give you that freedom of movement. Now, if you keep that left foot too square, it's going to restrict your range of motion and you won't be able to turn your hips, so you probably end up coming over the top of it with your body. All right. Now, for purposes of this video, we're going to play the ball position right in the middle of our stance, as if you were playing a mid-iron or a perfect club. If you were playing a short iron, you'd play the ball further back in your stance. If you were playing a driver, a fairway wood, or a long iron, you'd play the ball more forward in your stance. But just to make it easy for this workout, play the ball right in the middle so your weight is equal. Now, this club is designed short, 27 inches, so that you can swing it inside in a small area. So when you set up, this club should not sit on the ground. To get the correct distance, you want to just let your arms hang down naturally, and you can measure one hand from your thigh to the butt end of the club, and that's the distance that the club should be from your body. You don't want to be too far away, or you don't want to be too close. So just go ahead and take your right hand and swing it between here, and that's the distance that you should be from the club. Good. Here are a couple of pointers to help you with swing biomechanics. Let's start with the right arm. When you set up with your right arm, as you swing back, you want that right arm to fold so that it forms a right angle at the top of your swing. Your right hand should be underneath, supporting the club. You want to avoid taking that right arm too close to your side like this, or keeping it straight like so. So let that right arm fold into a right angle at the top of your swing. Now to start your downswing, you're just going to let that right arm drop in front of your body. It extends, and then you actually rotate your forearm to square the club face. And when you finish, you want to make sure you let that club touch your shoulder to finish. Avoid stopping your swing on the follow-through. Go ahead and continue all the way through to the finish. So the right arm folds on the backswing, and then it extends and releases on the follow-through. The left arm, if you're holding the grip correctly in the fingers, lets the wrist hinge, and that's what helps you keep your left arm nice and extended on the backswing, like so. You don't need to keep it super straight, but you definitely want to have extension. Now to start your downswing, that left arm comes down and it rotates so that at impact your left wrist is flat, and that's what squares the club face. Then as you follow through, the left arm actually folds to help continue to square that club face and create club head speed to the finish. You want to avoid bending your left arm on the backswing and then trying to keep it extended on the follow-through. Your club face is going to be open and you're going to hit a lot of shots to the right. So keep that left arm nice and extended on the backswing and then let it fold on the follow-through. Now when you put both hands together, make sure you have light grip pressure. Now with both hands on the club, try to keep your elbows the equal distance throughout your swing. So at the top of your swing, your right arm creates a right angle, the left one's extended, and those elbows are nice and tight together. Then as you come down, you can see my wrist is flat, and once again my elbows are the same distance and even on the follow-through. You want to avoid bending your arms and making those elbows too far apart because you're going to create problems on your downswing. The weight shift's really important in the golf swing. If I were to set up like this, what you're trying to do with your weight shift is you're just trying to wind your upper body over the resistance of your lower body. So at the top of your backswing, here are a couple of pointers for you. Your left shoulder should be over your right knee. The weight should be on the inside of your right leg, and you want to make sure you maintain flex in that right knee. From this point, to start your downswing, there's actually a little bit of a weight shift to the left, and that's what unwinds your shoulders, and then you go ahead and pivot all the way through your right foot to finish. You can see when I finish, my knees are touching, and I can even tap my right foot because all my weight's on my left side. You want to avoid tilting your body like this or twisting too much and moving your head. Now, it's not necessary that your head stay completely still, but you definitely want to maintain the same levels. So when we do these exercises, try to maintain your spine angle the same throughout the swing. You can see when I swing back, I maintain the spine angle. When I start my downswing, I maintain my spine angle, and even when I finish. Avoid raising up on your backswing, dipping down on your downswing, and then raising up again. So a good swing thought is to stay level. Now there are 6 basic positions I use in this cardio golf workout. The first position is what I call halfway back. And that's when you check your club face position. Your club face should actually be at the same angle as your spine. You want to avoid rolling your hands open like this or keeping the club too square like this. So halfway back is the first position. The second position is the top of the swing. The left arm's extended, the right arm's in a right angle. My weight shifted. Now the third position is the halfway down point. This is when I start to shift my weight to the left and I drop my arms gently in front of me. The next position is impact. My left wrist is flat, the club face is square, my weight shifting into my left side, and I've maintained my spine angles. The next position is the release. Those forearms rotate, and that's what helps you square the club face and create more power. And then the last position is the finish. The club's resting on my shoulder, all my weight's on my left side, and I'm in a balanced position. So you want to review this section often.